Hey guys, Garrett McLaughlin here, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. In the exercise of the week for this week, we will cover slow motion marching and slow motion marching with a metronome. So slow motion marching is a very, again, there's really nothing fancy about this exercise. A lot of people look at it like, really, this marching, what is that going to do for me? If we break running down into its simplest form, marching, skipping, crawling, these are the basic locomotion patterns that translate to better running. We're not just working on muscles, which we always think about. We need to strengthen particular muscles. We're working on movement patterns. How do we improve stability, improve motor control, neuromuscular control, and specific movement patterns that will translate over to the sport of running? So when we do slow motion marching, usually go over a distance, usually 10 to 15 feet or so, depending on what you have access to. But you can definitely, again, walk in a square, walk in a circle as you add different variations to this. Make it fun, make it enjoyable. It doesn't have to be anything too specific. But with the slow motion marching, there's a couple things we want to pay close attention to. Position of the body. So if we think of as I'm upright in this position, I'm trying to exhale, rib cage down, engage the core, shoulders back, can comfortably, not forcing these things, right? I'm not going too far in that direction. I'm just trying to set myself up in a nice neutral alignment before, and then I'm going to go through a good arm swing. Okay? So as the opposite arm, opposite leg move together, I'm in a good position to transfer energy, lower body, upper body, and vice versa. These are the little things that we want to put in play as we run. So doing them in a controlled environment is the smartest way to start. So with the slow motion marching, tall, exhale, rib cage down. You should be able to feel that. Core is lightly engaged. Good posture at the shoulders. And then just nice, comfortable arm swing. Thumb comes up, pointing at nipple level. Other hand is just above the pocket. That's kind of the arm swing motion we want to go through. All I'm going to do is just march slowly coming forward. So obviously this is the version with no metronome. You can choose your foot strike here. So as I strike down, rear foot strike, mid foot strike, forefoot strike, and then slowly lowering that entire foot to the ground. I usually go a little bit more midfoot on this one to be a softer, more controlled, like someone stepping on eggshells, but just walking down slowly. Good posture, good control, trying not to lose stability or balance. Eyes up, but I'm feeling that posture, I'm feeling that core engaged. I'm comfortably moving opposite arm, opposite leg. So we have that coordination, that timing, that rhythm of that movement pattern, that marching pattern. Depending on what we see in terms of running form, we sometimes like to add specific emphasis within the slow motion marching drill. So I have some people who have a tendency to cross over, or they're running more in line. So I'm going to tell them, hey, find a line on the floor. I don't want your foot to cross that line at any point. I want you to strike on either side of that line. So as we're giving a little bit more feedback on where they're striking the ground. I have some other people that overstride, right? So as they come, this is the majority of people, are landing way too far out in front with an extended leg. We want to teach them how to land in a position where that foot and ankle is directly underneath the knee and the more closer to the body center of mass. So that's a huge one that I like to reinforce here. Getting your position, going tall, striking that foot straight down rather than reaching out in front, right? Another big thing to think about. So we can intertwine a couple different nuances specific to running form with the slow motion marching. And then once we become familiar with just basic marching, promise I'm not calling anyone right now, what we're going to do then is add a metronome. Starting pretty slow. We'll go about 30 beats per minute. But now we'll show you going forward. Obviously, with this slow beat in rhythm, a little bit more balance and stability focused. But we can crank that up, right? We were working on improving timing and coordination. I get people up to sometimes 75 to 90 beats per minute. Now up to 90. And you can usually see what happens in terms of running form or marching as we increase the cadence. It starts to limit our stride, our range of motion to some degree, right? It's gonna be a little faster, a little bit quicker off the ground, less balance and stability, more coordination, timing to really work on teaching people how to increase their cadence and get the legs to turn over more quickly. So depending on what your goal is, slow motion marching is a very good drill. If you're just working on balance, timing, coordination, getting some of the key things in play to reinforce posture, core stability, arm swing, you can't go wrong with marching. Those of you that we know we're overstriding, we have a history of injury that's related to landing with too much force, using that metronome, increasing cadence while landing in the right position can be super helpful for you. So that is the slow motion marching and the slow motion marching with metronome. Again, like I said, not fancy, super effective. Majority of runners again, are not marching, but should be marching somewhere within their program, whether this is a warm-up, cool down, before strength training, it could be a warm-up before you run, but I think you'll be surprised at the benefits of using the metronome, incorporating marching, just to improve that whole neuromuscular connection and motor control specific to the running pattern. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a line below. Hope you have a great week, and we will talk soon. Thanks, guys.